Hey garden friends, welcome back to Not Quite Homesteading, ESK Garden. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my next build for my garden beds, and the reason I'm doing this recording is because I'm changing the design of the beds that I have. So I wanted to share with you guys how I'm intending to build like my next few beds, really to I guess fit some of the growing needs that we have for certain types of plants, but also because there are some specific things that I wanted out of the bed. For one, I wanted a better way to cover the beds, and two, I wanted them to be able to have support edges for me to sit on when I'm doing certain tasks. So I wanted to bring you guys along with that and show you how the next few beds are going to be looking and how the garden design is going to be changing for the future. So if you're interested in seeing that, definitely stick around. If this is your first time stopping by the channel and you're a new gardener yourself looking for a community support, if you're a gardening enthusiast, or if you're just someone that loves a good gardening journey, hit that subscribe button. Let's engage in the comments and have some fun around gardening. So these are the materials. Now, I was extremely big on getting cedar wood, and I still am for gardening purposes. Cedar, it's naturally rust resistant, naturally pest repellent, and it lasts the longest, from my understanding, out of most treated woods, right? But I ended up having to go with a southern pine wood, like a yellow pine wood. Some of them are treated, some of them are untreated. The bottom parts of the bed are treated, but in order for me to be able to sit on the wood without it staining my clothing, I had to get some untreated wood, which we're actually going to seal on the top so that, you know, I don't end up getting like stuck with splinters or anything like that. But we're going to seal it because it's untreated, so that, you know, I don't run into any issues there, or the wood doesn't break down quicker than it needs to. Part of what changed with these is the width, the thickness of the wood. My current beds, I believe there's something like an inch, and you know, if you know lumber standards, something I just learned recently, I'm by no means an expert, but apparently when they say 1 inch, it really is about 3/4 of an inch. So they measure the wood based off the original measurement before they, like, you know, sand and cut and do all of that stuff. So those are like 3/4 inch thick width thickness, and these are 2 inches. And in order for me to be able to sit on the bed, and in order for the bed to support the top, which, you know, you guys can see here, I'm building like a PVC like hoop structure, the width of the bed has to be a little bit thicker in order to support all those things. So we went ahead with like 2 inch thickness 2x6 ply boards, or however you call these things. And then the top portion, it is 2x4 if I'm not mistaken, that's going to connect to this little hoop panel. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to be creating kind of like a lift, so it's going to be able to lift, and then I can put the netting over this, secure it within like the little structure, and then when I lift it, I'm not disrupting the netting every time I need to go into the bed. I just lift it, close it back, and I'm done. And I got this idea from James Prigioni. I'll make sure I link that particular video down below of how he built like this over like hoop structure. And the good thing about it is I can use it with a screen, but if I wanted to change out the material for like some of the colder months, I can use the greenhouse effect material to kind of make it like a hoop house, which dual purpose. So we definitely love a multi-purpose functional item, right? And then the bed idea I actually got from the Millennial Gardener, so I will link that video down below as well. No need for me to go through the full process when they can explain it, one, much better than I can, and two, they weren't my ideas to begin with. So that's what we're doing today. My husband's going to be putting together the beds. He already did like the cuts for what we needed as far as like some of the wood pieces. So we had to like cut obviously some of the 2x6s, the 2x6x8s into halves, so the shorter sides of the beds could be ready. And you know, that he did like a week ago or a week and a half ago while we were waiting for some of the other parts to come in. I'm going to show you guys quick clips of some of the things that he's going to be doing. I'm probably not going to talk through this video because I simply just don't know enough about any of this stuff to really offer any sound information, but I'll let you guys kind of like watch what he's doing, and then like I said, I'll link those 2 videos below so that you can really understand like the process of what is happening. And then I'll show you guys the finished product, you know, so that we can finally get these tomatoes in the ground. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. So this is kind of a sample of how the bed is going to look. This side is going to be slightly higher. It's going to basically have like a staircase effect. And on this side, I'm going to be doing like tomatoes. I'll likely be doing peppers on this side. But depending on where we are, I might end up just doing tomatoes in both. I don't know yet, but the idea, my goal was to do peppers in this particular bed, because when it's time for me to start transplanting my peppers, we're still gonna have to build another bed. So, you know, I don't know, but we'll see. But this is kind of what it's looking like. This is the sample so far. Yeah, so we're basically just doubling the landscape fabric that we put down just to make sure that we have a good cover for weeds and insects like trying to crawl up through the bottom. And then we'll go ahead and lay down the gopher net, which you guys can see is kind of laying out right there. So he's just measuring out like the landscape fabric. I'm gonna have about 3 feet between each of the beds, which is the minimum you should have. And then once we get the landscape fabric and the gopher net laid down, then we'll go ahead and start to transition the bed over. So this is the progress so far. I will say one tip, y'all, just make sure you have the right drill bit for the screws. I ended up getting screws that were slightly larger than I guess expected as far as like the nail itself, not the length but the nail. So now he's having to like hand turn everything to tighten. So it's like we're pre-drilling holes, of course, but manual labor.